Hey guys, MD Prepper. Another gear review, this time on the Condor tool and knife Golok Machete. I don't know if I'd call this machete. I'd maybe call this a sword. It's a lot thicker than your standard machete. When I think machete, I think cheap flexible blade. Well, this ain't cheap and it's not flexible. This is a kick butt blade. Tremendous value from Condor, just like the rest of the Condor blades and knives I've done reviews on. I've got quite a few more to come. I'm going to talk about the Sheath here in a minute. Again, love the Sheath. Just say that up front. Condor Golok is one you see a lot on their advertisements and all that. I think it's one of their top sellers from what I can tell of the machetes. At least it's one of the coolest looking ones. The Golok is 1075 high carbon steel, like the rest of the Condor knife and tool line. Interesting design. Not going to be able to thrust with it, of course, so there's no point here, but man, can you do some damage with this bad boy. Stats on it, it is 20.5 inches overall length, so there you have it, and a 14-inch cutting blade edge here all the way around. Weighs in at about 1.5 pounds for the weapon itself. Don't have the weight on the machete, but I don't care about that. This thing is a whopping 1/4 inch thick. This thing is a hoss. It is an absolute beast of a tool, okay? This thing's going to outlast you, your kids, your grandkids, and all that if you keep this in good shape. Made in El Salvador like the rest of the Condor line. Comes quite sharp for a machete. Very, very, very sharp. Could be sharper, I suppose, but for a machete, I don't think I want it to be. So there's your nice pretty edge right there. Hopefully you can see that. Very nice. It's got that powder coat black enamel on it, like a lot of the Condor line, just for corrosion resistance and protection, all of that. Very nice. Looks a lot better on this than it does on the smaller blades, like the Rodan or the Bushcraft knife. I think it looks very classy on this. Very thick, flat back spine here, so you can use this as a striker, that type of stuff. One nice addition to this thing, and I'm going to try to come around so you can see it. It's got Condor etched in the back of it, right there. Don't know if you can see it. Trying to get it as close as I can. There you go. That's a nice little touch. Didn't have to be done. I think the lettering, the style of that, looks very much like your lettering from Conan the Barbarian. So it looks Condor, the Conan Barbarian blade. Just a nice blade overall. Fits well in the hand. Obviously full tang. You can see that there all the way around. Guatemalan walnut for the grips, just like a lot of their things. It's not as pretty at walnut as our American stuff, but from what I've read, these things are sturdy. Gonna take a beat. Got 3 brass pins in the grip right there. You've got a lanyard hole, brass line there. Of course, you know how much I love my lanyard holes. This thing has got a little swell on the back side of the grip, so that as you swing with this thing, you're gonna catch your hand. It's not gonna slip out of your hand. I like that a lot. I think this thing feels tremendous. Well weighted, well balanced. Not too heavy, but it's heavy, it's hefty. You're going to be able to whack down anything you feel like with this. Of course, has El Salvador on this end and Condor on this side. Very, very nice blade. You can find just the blade extremely inexpensive. 22 to 25 bucks or something just for the machete. Now, that's unbeatable in my mind for something of this quality. Now, if you start looking for the sheath, it's going to cost you a good bit more. The sheath here, just like the rest of the Condor line, this one's black. Some of the smaller ones are brown. Gorgeous sheath, very thick leather, just very, very nice. Got the Condor tool and knife emblem there. Your heavy stitching, your rivets at the top, one at the bottom. Like your bigger Condor tool and knife, it's got this swivel belt loop on it. No attachment loop, anything at the top, because again, you're not going to need it. This thing is not going to fall out by any means with the retention of the leather and the length of this thing. This is going to fit in there real nice and snug. Going to get the job done. So again, not going to fall out by any means. So adding the sheath and the machete together, if you buy them together, they're a little bit cheaper that way. It's probably going to be 40 to 45 bucks, maybe a little more expensive if you don't spend your time looking around. I still think that's a bargain. I just didn't want to own just the machete. Could I have cobbled together something, use one of my cheaper nylon machete sheaths for this thing? Sure, I could have, absolutely, and come out cheaper, but again, good looking machete needs a good looking sheath in my opinion. Durable machete, durable sheath. So you know, if you just want the tool, if you're using it around the house and all that, yeah, 20, 25 bucks, buy it, and don't even hesitate to buy this thing. If I had a complaint about this, and it's not really a complaint, it's just a cosmetic comment, I suppose. The Guatemalan walnut is not as finely finished as it could be. There's just some rough spots on it, some edges, you know, it's just, could be buffed out a little better, could be sanded a little smoother here, especially around this bulbous head here. And definitely could be stained a little bit, or some linseed oil, something like that. I've not done that yet, just because I wanted to show it the way it is, and I may just leave it the way it is. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of the rough finish on it around here on the ball head. If you see that, you can see some what looks white in the camera there and there. It's not as smoothed off as it could be. You can see a little rough finish edge, especially around the back part here. We got this angle on it, so maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. Again, not a major complaint at all for the price of this thing. Love it. I have not used it much, a little bit out in the backyard. Obviously doesn't have a whole lot of wear and tear on it. Have not sharpened it at all yet, but it's a nice blade. The Condor Golok, 25 bucks at the most for the blade. About 45 or so for the total combo. So you're paying about 20 bucks for the sheath. I think it's worth it. I really do. For me, again, if costs are tight and all that, buy this and fashion yourself a sheath. I love this thing. I may actually have another one or two of the larger Condor blades to go over, and they got some neat stuff coming out this year, 2012, that I'm probably going to have to pick up. Just seeing some of the stuff from SHOT Show, some of the videos, looks tremendous. Again, Condor knife and tool, 1075 high carbon like the rest of their line. This is a tank, an absolute tank. MD Prepper, out.